Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the FIFA Flow podcast. Today guys, we got a bit of a short episode today, about 20 or 30 minutes, not going to be an hour long like usual. Because today guys, we're not going to talk about any game, no football news today. I want to make a video, a short quick video kind of explaining and talking about the UEFA quarterfinal Champions League draw, as well as a bit about the Europa League draw as well. I want to talk about maybe a bit of the corruption that could have gone back into this. And I want to talk about each team, how each team are doing currently, the form of each team, and the possibilities of each team going on to the next round and maybe even to the final, because we also know the path to the final for each team. As I mentioned, we're also going to talk about the Europa League, UEFA Europa League, the UEL. But today's main focus is going to be the Champions League. Just take a look at each team's, like, I guess, what would you call it? Their form, their current form in the past, in this current UCL and in the past league games for their whatever their domestic or whatever their country is, whatever their league is. So let's get right into it. It's, as I said, not going to be a long episode today. But yeah, guys, as you guys can see, we have our Europa or our Champions League draw, and it's a bit of an interesting one. Like usual, a bit of rigness going on. Chelsea yet again getting Real Madrid for the third time in a year. So let's go. Yeah, let's just get right into it. Talk about. We're gonna talk about the. Where is it? We're gonna talk about let's talk about each pairing first, and then we'll talk maybe about the corruption, the riggedness, maybe the manipulation that's gone behind, like the planning, and then also the path to the final. So let's go ahead right and talk about it. So of course, as we can tell, let's write down here UCL quarter finals. So yeah, so first off, we have Real Madrid versus Chelsea. So personally, I think it's definitely not the best game here. I think the best game here is of course going to be Man City Bayern. I think to be fair, off the top of your head, you're gonna think Real Madrid win easy, especially with the current form that Chelsea are in right now. And if we take a look here, Chelsea are not looking good since the World Cup. Actually, no, let's go to FODMOB, because FODMOB explains it better. So if we take a look here, Chelsea, like, it explains the win-loss. It actually shows like a W and an L beside it. If we take a look here, if we take a look at fixtures here, we take a look at past fixtures. So yeah, as you can see, they've been getting on form recently. So I mean, good for them. But it's Leeds, Dortmund, a great comeback against Dortmund on a one. They were down 1-0 on aggregate from the first leg, and then they come home and then they go on to win it. So second leg tax is real. I want to talk about that as well. But as you can see, they lose to Spurs, they lose to Southampton. The first game back after the January transfer window, which is February 3rd, they were just having a bluff, and they spent almost 400 million in that January transfer window, and they were just waffling it, man. Against Fulham, they draw. Against West Ham, yet again, draw. Lose to Dortmund in the first leg away. Lose to Southampton, lose to Spurs, and then now they're kind of getting back on track. They did draw today as well, which is pretty crazy. I did not watch the highlights, but we'll talk about that on the next episode, because I want to kind of focus on Chelsea, like kind of talk a bit more about Chelsea in the next episodes of talking about league games, because maybe there's a chance they can beat Real Madrid. Real Madrid is a big club. I kind of want to talk about Chelsea because I don't want. I think Real Madrid will win easily. Not easily. That's what I'm trying to say now. Is I don't think it could be an easy game for Real Madrid. I feel like a lot of people could be sleeping on Chelsea, because their recent form is pretty decent. The only thing I see Chelsea losing here is tactically. I think tactically, Graham Potter is just not it. Now, if we look at the past 3 years, Chelsea have matched Real Madrid 2 times, last year in the quarterfinals, and then this year as well. And then the year before that, 3 years ago, Real Madrid matched Chelsea in the semifinals, and Chelsea actually knocked them out. And then that's when Chelsea and Man City went on to the finals, and Chelsea went on to win it, steal Man City's first UCL win. So yet again, Real Madrid and Chelsea for the third time in a year, and you can say 2 times in a row in the quarterfinals now. I think I'm gonna personally say Real Madrid win. I think it's no doubt. I mean, if we take a look at Real Madrid, I mean, not just like we don't have to look at Real Madrid um, in a league term because of course I don't think they're doing. I think when it comes to the Spanish league, Real Madrid are not doing the best. But when it comes to Europa League, man, they go all out. You know, they're just all out. So yeah, Liverpool they win. So they win here Espanyol, but against Betis they lose. La Liga or Barcelona they lose another El Clasico tomorrow. Atletico de Madrid they lose. They went on a streak here, but like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like this year in the La Liga, there's definitely games which they could have done better. Villarreal they always struggle against Villarreal. Real Valencia, Girona, um, and so on. So Mallorca, they as I said they drew against Betis, which I think they could have easily won. It was a bit of a slower game for them. I think I mentioned that like they didn't really pass a lot or like something like that. I remember, don't quite remember the game, but I remember saying something like that. So the next few games they have 2 El Clasicos upcoming. I think Barcelona should be the favorites. Not maybe not the favorites, but definitely the stronger side in my opinion. I don't think Real Madrid will go all out, and that maybe for La Liga, they won't go all out because I think it's pretty obvious. I think Barcelona are killing it in the La Liga. I think they're 11 or 9 points clear of Real Madrid. So maybe this game tomorrow, Real Madrid won't go all out. To be fair, I think Pedri is also not playing tomorrow, so that could be huge as well. That could be huge, a huge problem in the midfield for Barcelona. We saw that, of course, in the when was it? Was it in this game here? No, it was Barcelona versus it was United. We saw that against United. That was a huge problem. So I think Barcelona will still win this game. Also, I think it will be. It's still gonna be difficult, but that's because I think Real Madrid will also not go fully into it. And then for the Copa del Rey, I think that's when Real Madrid will full send it. And then I think they're gonna full send Chelsea. And the reason why I'm saying like, oh, they're gonna lose tomorrow, but then they're gonna win in the Copa del Rey is because they don't really care about the La Liga. I think trophies. I think they know that Barcelona are clear of the La Liga. Barcelona are a strong team, and yeah, I think when it comes to Copa del Rey, they still have a chance for the final. This is the Copa del Rey is where it's the Copa del Rey, and they are one down on aggregate. But if they, as I said, if they win, they should be going through. Um, the winner here should be going through. And then, what was I about to say? Yeah, when it comes to Copa del Rey, it's not like, oh, there's a point system. It's just if they win this match specifically, they go on to the next round of the Copa del Rey tournament or the cup. So when it comes to Copa del Rey, I think they will play a bit stronger. When it comes to La Liga, I think they'll still try. Of course, I think you have to try to La Liga. You have to get the league trophy in your own league to qualify as well. And yeah, just first place is huge. However, I think I think Barcelona are clear, and I think Real Madrid should definitely focus on the Champions League and not the La Liga. However, yet again, guys, I'm going on a huge rant here about Real Madrid. What I will say is, at the same time, it's up to Ancelotti. At the end of the day, it's whether does he want to beat Barcelona. It's an El Clasico, so at the end of the day, he has to full send it. It's the El Clasico. At the same time, he doesn't have to full send Chelsea because he might think, oh, Chelsea are not a good team because of their form. He might think that tactically Chelsea are not good, and that's where I say I think tactically Chelsea will lose. I think if I really think that it's gonna come down to the players. It's gonna really come down to the players putting in all the work. I don't think Harry Potter, as I say, Graham Potter, the new coach from Brighton, I don't think he's gonna do anything tactically. I mean, he's gonna be the one who's choosing the players. You just have to hope that he chooses the right players who have the mentality to win the game. And I think players, in my opinion, who have that mentality have to be like someone like I'd say, what's his name? Enzo Fernandez. He's pretty young, so I feel like he could get to his head fast and kind of drain down mentally. But I think like someone like Conte, Kovacic, would be good. Um, with Kai, I think Kai Havertz, maybe Kai Havertz. I think Pulisic. I mean, Pulisic said himself that he thinks that Chelsea have a chance. So, uh, I know people. I was laughing at that as well. But when you have that mentality, these are the few players in the Chelsea team who have the courage to say that, who have that mentality. As I said, I think tactically Chelsea are gonna be destroyed. However, I think mentally, like it's up to the players whether they it's up to the players to kind of play with passion and kind of yeah I guess it really comes down to the players individually as a, and like to play as a team rather than Graham Potter. I don't see Graham Potter doing anything. I think tactically he's gonna just ruin things. So at the end of the day, I think it comes down to the players individually. Kind of had that mentality like, oh, even though it's Real Madrid, even though we're not in a best form right now, after the winter transfer window, we have to try. We have to put in all our effort to try. Now, I was gonna say second leg tax is real, and that is because the second leg, the first leg will be played at the Santiago Bernabeu. However, the second leg will be played at Chelsea's home. So Real Madrid will be away, and I really do think second leg tax is real. Um, I guarantee you. I mean, I really guarantee you, if Real Madrid had lost that first game at the oh, what's the name of the stadium now? I forgot the name of the stadium. The Liverpool. How do I forget the name? At Anfield, man. I don't know how I forgot Anfield. I guarantee if Real Madrid had lost at Anfield, because the second leg was at the Santiago Bernabeu, they would have killed it. You can even see statistically. I don't like to like say everything on stats, but even in the game, man, Real Madrid were miles clear of Liverpool in that game in the second leg. And as I said, second leg tax is real. So if Chelsea win this game, if Real Madrid lose this game, I could possibly see Chelsea having a huge chance, at least a higher percentage chance to knock out Real Madrid. However, if Real Madrid win this game, then I think they've won it at away as well. I think if they have that passion, of course, with Chelsea's form, with Chelsea's tactics from Todd B, Potter or not Todd B, from Potterball, Harry Potter, as well as the home spirit from the Santiago Bernabeu, they have to full send it in the first leg. Hopefully, they get a good 3-4 on a 3-4 goal difference on aggregate, so that when they go away in the second leg, they can hold that 3-4 aggregate, kind of defend that lead. But I think if Chelsea win this game at the Santiago Bernabeu, which I don't see, the possibilities is very low, then I think that maybe Chelsea have a chance to win the second leg because of home tax. As I said, second leg tax. I think second leg tax is real. Second leg home tax is real. That's what I'm trying to say here. If you're home on the second leg, it is real. It is real. But as I just mentioned, if Real Madrid win the first game with Chelsea's form, the tactics, the poor form. I mean, recently in the past month they've been pretty decent, but before that, I guess the form, Chelsea's tactics, as well as the Santiago, the home tax from Madrid. If Madrid win, all they have to do is defend that lead in the second leg. However, if Chelsea somehow win or even draw, I think Chelsea will have a bigger chance because of the home advantage with the fans. Fans, man, is a huge deal. It really is a huge deal. Really is a huge deal. So, yeah, that is that. I'm not gonna write any notes here, but just yeah, that is that. Let's go ahead to the next game, Man City and Bayern. So what a freaking game this will be. This is gonna be a huge game. Yes, Bayern. So this is gonna be a huge game. Of course, Pep Guardiola versus his old club. We saw this fixture last summer during the friendlies. There was a friendlies in America between Man City and Bayern Munich. So what a game! I think two strong teams, two very strong teams. But however, I do think Man City will still win, and that is due to Bayern not being What I see here is a problem for Bayern is the way Man City play. They play very like they play a passing game. However, Bayern they play like a press game. They put a pressure game, more of a physical. I think Man City is a team that can handle the physicality. With PSG, we cannot handle the pressure Bayern put on us. But I think Manchester City are a team that can handle Bayern's pressure, and on top of that, they have the tactics from Pep Guardiola, one of the best managers in the world. Um, Erling Haaland, as I said, physically they have Erling Haaland, KDB, Rodri, physical. They have really physical players. And as I said, tactically, since Bayern are very pressure, like a team who always pressures, like they put some pressure on the opposing team. And because of that, the pressure that Bayern put, Man City are a passing team, so they get the ball out of there, and from the pressure that Bayern put, they drew out. So what I mean is, like, if Kimmich is putting pressure, Kimmich would have to get out of his role, out of that CM role, and then because of the way Man City played the passing game, they get around him. But now Kimmich is not there because initially Kimmich went to put the pressure. So for that reason, I think Bayern are not, or they're going to be vulnerable to the passing game that Manchester City play, as well as they can't really put pressures because even if they wanted to put pressure, one is a passing game Man City play, and two, I think Man City are a very strong team that can handle the pressure. As I mentioned, PSG, man, we cannot handle pressure, like physical pressure and stuff. However, Man City, they have Haaland, Erling Haaland, Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne. Who's their backline? Akanji. Who's their backline? Laporte. I'm missing one. But like I said, Kyle Walker. They really have. I think Man City are very are a team that can handle the pressure, the physicality, like the physical battles, especially Erling Haaland. Man, he's gonna give a problem to Bayern. When he was at Borussia Dortmund, he gave a problem, and now at City, it's even worse. And today he bagged a hat trick in the FA Cup as well. We'll talk about that on the next episode. Today, I just want to focus on give my thoughts on these fixtures, on these matchups. But yeah, that is Man City Bayern. Huge game. I think it's going to be the best game. One of the hardest games for sure. One of the most watched games out of these four matchups. We then have Benfica versus Inter, and a lot of people are saying Benfica go through. If we take a look at Inter's for, I do have to say on paper, Benfica, man, they do have the Portuguese passion. As I said, every year there's always the underdog team who always does really good, and I think this year has to go to Benfica. If we take a look, huge wins for Benfica. If we take a look at Inter, however, Inter, they're on the ropes, man. Inter are on the ropes. They're on the train tracks, going like up and down. Not looking the best for Inter Milan. However, I do think that it's not going to be the easiest game for Benfica either. I feel like a lot of people might be sleeping on Inter Milan. FC Porto, Inter Milan for the second time in the knockout rounds of the Champions League are facing yet again another Portuguese team. They knocked out FC Porto, which I was a bit sad. The Persian R9 Mehdi Taremi went out, and not just Mehdi Taremi, even like Porto are a very strong team. There's a Canadian there, he went out. I think they have they're really talented. They're a really good team. So I think they are a good team. So unfortunate to see them go out. And same with Benfica. Benfica, strong team, doing way better than Inter are this season in their league, of course. So I think Benfica will go through here. I mean, you have João Marie. What's his name? João Mario. Is that his name? Who else do they have? Gonzalo Ramos, who was killing it at the World Cup for Portugal, and is also killing it for Benfica as well. Yeah, as I said, with the form currently, with the form of each team in their league, in their international league, I think Benfica are gonna win this. However, I mean, yeah, man, that midfield in the second leg for Inter Milan looked terrible. Barella, man, that guy was he was kind of messing up. He had some very bad moments there. I think Benfica will go through, but what I'm trying to say here is don't sleep on Inter Milan. I feel like Inter will have a chance. I think Inter Milan will definitely have a chance. La Caca, guys, La Caca. And then AC Milan and Napoli. I think this is also a game I really like. Yes, Napoli, a Serie A derby in the Champions League, which could be interesting. And possibly if Inter go on to win the game, we could see two Serie A derbies. Maybe we see Milan derby. Maybe AC Milan surprisingly beats Napoli, which I doubt will happen. Man, Napoli, bro, Napoli, Di Lorenzo, Osimhen, what's his name, Politano, and then of course Kvar, whatever his name is, Kvardona, as I like to say. Maradona is pulling strings here. He is giving hope from the skies, man. Napoli are literally killing it this season. There's definitely some players I forgot to mention. What's the guy in the midfield? Anguissa, he's a Cameroonian, I believe. I think he's from Cameroon. Man, Napoli, they're actually killing it this season. Gosens is no, I think Gosens played for Inter, but man, Napoli, what a team! I mean, AC Milan, Rafael Leao, Tonali, they got Tomori as well. I think it's gonna be a great matchup. I mean, if we take a look, is there any like league games? If we take a look, Napoli, like, is there any league games between? Oh, ooh. This is gonna be interesting. So in 2 weeks, we should be, or in 2 or 3 weeks, because I think this upcoming week we're gonna have international games. Yeah, we should have international games. So in about 3 weeks' time, we're gonna have Napoli versus AC Milan, and both teams are gonna see this as a huge advantage for a practice to warm up for the Champions League. Man, this is gonna be huge. This game here should give a huge. Like, I'm definitely gonna watch this game. I want to know the outcome of this game, because I think it should be. I think teams will definitely send players out. They're definitely gonna run like tactics, like do some different tactics against each other to practice for the Champions League. So that game should be huge. As I said, I mean, how are Napoli doing? Of course, we already know how Inter are doing, or we already know how Napoli are doing. How are AC Milan doing? Is what I want to see. Yeah, AC Milan, man, not looking the best. So I think Napoli will win this. But as I said, I think this game here should be a huge game for for both teams here. A huge advantage to kind of warm up, practice their tactics, practice like the players to get a chance to know the other team, and warm up for the Champions League. I think with the way Napoli are, you already know they're killing it this season. And as we just took a look, AC Milan not really doing the best this season. So I think for sure Napoli will go through, but I think I think this game will be a huge help for AC Milan to prepare for the game in the Champions League game against Napoli. So that is gonna be huge. But yeah, those are my yeah. There's gonna be some really interesting games over here. Now I want to talk about why it's a possibility of it's rigged. Is look how easy this side is. If we take a look here. Oh no, it's gonna be slow, man. I swear, this Google Chrome, man. Google freaking Chrome. My goodness. Sorry about that, guys. We're just gonna have to wait here. Oh, I don't want to get copyrighted. What if that's like a... Yo, man, Google. What is this on about? My goodness. Open image in a new tab. Yes, please. So, yeah, as you guys can see here, Benfica and Inter Milan. The winner here will go on. Actually, no. Let's take a screenshot of this, because I want to kind of draw on it as well. UCL bracket, we'll call it. And let's just go here real quick. And we'll open this up in Paint 3D. And where is Google? Wrong Google tab. I think it's this one here. And this one. So yeah, as you guys can see, that sorry about the wait there. But yeah, as you can see, the reason why I say this could be a big rigged here. If we take a look, the winner between AC Milan and Napoli, the winner. So let's say Napoli win. If Napoli win, if they win, holy boy. If Napoli go on to win and they lose, Napoli will go on to the next stage. Let's say Benfica win here. Benfica win here. If Benfica win Inter, then we're gonna have Benfica versus Napoli, which is also a huge game. Over here, if Real Madrid win and Chelsea lose, we're just gonna write RMA. And then over here, if Man City win, Manchester City win here, and Bayern lose, we're gonna have City versus Bayern. And then whoever wins here, if it's Real, if it's Real, if it's Napoli here, just look how easier. I mean, Napoli are a strong team, but I think Real Madrid are gonna easily beat Napoli. Man City, I think they beat Napoli. Bayern, they probably beat Napoli. I mean, if Bayern beats City here and Real Madrid, I think Real Madrid will knock out Bayern easily. But not easily. I think it's still gonna be hard. But I think Real Madrid will still knock out Bayern. But yeah, man, just look how easy this side is. If it's AC Milan, if AC Milan beats here, they go on through, and then whoever, like, if even here, see, if we have this, if we have a Milan derby, whoever goes through here, if AC Milan goes out and Inter then go through, man, whoever comes out of this side, unless it's Chelsea, whoever comes out of this left side is gonna beat this side. And that's why I'm saying it's rigged. It's I really like, it's very similar to the World Cup semifinals, where there was a chance we could have had Croatia versus Morocco final. However, guys, just like, I know, I really like how there's an underdog who could go to the final. Benfica path to the final. Look at this. Napoli, they have a path to the final, and what I mean by that is they don't have to. I think if Napoli or Benfica had to verse Man City, Bayern, or Real Madrid before the final, I think they would have gone out. So at least to get to the final is pretty crazy. But just look how easy their path is compared to, like, look at Real Madrid and this. Like, whoever comes out of this side here, of this left side here, unless it's Chelsea, I doubt Chelsea are not making it out. No ways. Unless what happens, as I said before, unless that happens, I don't see Chelsea going out. So whoever comes out here, I think this side easily wins. Maybe not easily wins. I think these three teams, they easily beat Benfica, easily beat Inter if they go to the final, easily beat AC Milan if they go to the final, and I think they will beat Napoli. It will be a bit harder. I feel like there could be a chance that Napoli actually win, beat one of these teams, but I think it's definitely going to be harder than these teams. But I think they're still going to have a higher chance of winning. Of course, I think at the end of the day, it's not going to be 100% chance for one team and 0 for the other team. But what I'm trying to say here is the probability of this side winning here definitely higher here. Like the comeback chance for Benfica as well is definitely 0. Inter no, AC Milan no, and Benfica or Napoli will be definitely a struggle team. But however, I think these three teams on the left will still beat Benfica will still beat Napoli if Napoli go to the final. However, I think Napoli are definitely a hard team, but I think they'll still beat them. They're definitely harder than these three teams, but I think they'll still beat Napoli. There is a chance, but yeah, man, it's so rigged. I don't think it could be any more rigged. Couldn't be any more rigged. Inter facing two Portuguese teams in the in the knockout stages this UCL season. Real Madrid facing Liverpool three times in a row in the knockout stages, the past three UCLs. Same with Chelsea. And maybe Man City as well. They actually no. Last year they faced the same three opponents in the knockouts. Well, Liverpool in the finals, Chelsea in the same leg, and then Man City in the semifinals. But I mean, yeah, it's really looking like Real Madrid are going to be facing the same opponents, other than the final, of course. But it's looking like they might be facing the same opponents. Napoli, I think they have a really. I think Napoli and Benfica. I really like how Napoli and Benfica have a chance to the final, an easier path to the final if you don't have to verse Bayern or City. But I think when they do get to the final, any of these three teams here, or any of these teams here, other than Chelsea, will definitely beat them. So I think they'll make it to the final. One of these two teams. When it gets to the final, I think they lose. Even if Inter AC Milan went to go to the final, it's clear that one of these teams on this side, other than Chelsea, will definitely win. So that's why I say it is a big rigged, because one side is superior, way far. The probability of this the outcome of this team versus the outcome of this team, this side, the probability is higher on the left side than the right side. So I think if we had like Real Madrid and Chelsea on this side, and then maybe like AC Milan and Napoli as well on this side, I think that'd be interesting. Benfica, Inter, like if we switch these bottom two sides here, if we put AC Milan and Napoli on this side, and then Bayern and City on this side, I think that's where we say it's interesting, because then the final will actually be harder. It's gonna be like Real Madrid Bayern, Real Madrid City. It's not going to be like Real Madrid, AC Milan. Maybe if AC Milan win and they go to the final, it's not going to be Real Madrid, AC Milan. You get what I mean? And in that case, it's going to be easy for Madrid. But if it's like Real Madrid and City, or Real Madrid and Bayern, that's when it's going to be harder for sure. So, what things I like about this? Benfica, Napoli, path to the final. Real Madrid should easily win. Bayern City, huge matchup. As I said, maybe also Man City might have their first UCL. As I said, I think City are definitely stronger than Napoli and Benfica. Definitely stronger than Inter and AC Milan. But I think City are definitely stronger than Napoli and Benfica. So we could possibly see City winning their first UCL if they make it to the final as well. But yeah, I guess you could say the path to the final for the right side, like this side here, is just so much easier than this side. What I'm trying to say here, still, it's definitely gonna be hard still, but yeah, it's still pretty rigged. But yeah, that's what I had to mention there. Yeah, that is the Champions League. What I had to say about the Champions League. About UEL, we're not gonna really talk about this a lot. Juve Sporting, Juve Sporting, that should be pretty interesting. I think Sporting are also a pretty solid team with the Portuguese passion, but man, I think Juve back on track. So I think Juve will probably win that game. United, I mean, they versed Barcelona in the quarterfinals. They versed Barcelona in the round of 32, Real Betis in the quarterfinals, and now they're versing. Actually, no, what? Yeah, I think Barcelona in the quarterfinals. Oh no, round of 32? I guess Barcelona in the round of 32. Although it's called the round of 32, but it's still only 16 like teams. It's still like the round of 16 basically. But then whoever wins from the round of 32 then goes on to play. Yeah, I don't know. It's called the round of 32 even if you take a look here. Round of 16. So yeah, So see, the round before this must have been called the round of 32. So yeah, Manchester United, they play Barcelona in the round of 32. They play Real Betis in the round of 16, and now they have Sevilla in the semifinals. I mean, luckily that's gonna be their last last La Liga team they're gonna have to play in the Europa League. But man, they're enjoying it. So yeah, as I said, Juve Sporting. I think Juve are back on track. They're killing it this season. I think the second half of the season. Man United. I think United are clear of Sevilla. Sevilla were at one point in the relegation zone of La Liga. I don't know what happened to them this season. They're a solid team, but I guess just not doing the best. Roma and Feyenoord. Yeah, surprisingly, Feyenoord beats. Who did they have? Shakhtar. Yeah, Shakhtar. It was gonna be a good matchup, and it ended up Feyenoord winning. But Roma, guys, I think Jose Mourinho, or not Jose Mourinho ball, and then Leverkusen and USG, man. Who the heck is this team? Leverkusen, USG, man. So is this a semifinals or the quarterfinals? Why does it say both, man? What in the world, man? What? Love to see it, UEFA. Love to see it, but yeah, Leverkusen versus USG, not PSG. USG. The dollar store version of USG. Actually, no, the Walmart version. Look, it's good quality, but not Gucci quality. Like Gucci quality is PSG. Walmart is fairly even, is average mid quality, which is PSV, and then Dollarama's quality is USG, man. So the USG is the Dollarama version of PSG, and then the mid version, the Walmart version of PSG is gonna be PSV. PSV instead, not PSG. But Leverkusen USG, I think surely Leverkusen win this. I've never heard of USG, so I mean, you never know, but still. Now, yet again, a pretty good run to the final here for both sides. Roma Leverkusen will be interesting if Roma ends up winning, and I think Leverkusen will end up winning. And then United Juve, man. So I think United beat Sevilla, Juve beat Sporting. So then we'll have United Juve, which should be really, really good. And then Roma and Leverkusen. Now you could say maybe the same thing goes here as well, where the left side might be a bit stronger than the right side. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Do I see Roma, like if Juventus make it to the final? Do I see Roma beating Juventus? Probably not. Same with Leverkusen. Do I see them? Definitely, Juve definitely beat USG and Feyenoord. But Leverkusen, maybe they lose to Leverkusen. But I think they beat Roma. They beat Feyenoord. Or maybe they beat Roma. I think their chances are higher. They beat Feyenoord. They beat USG, and then not sure about Leverkusen either. And then same goes for United. I think United, like, they probably beat Roma. They beat USG, they beat Feyenoord, and I don't know about Leverkusen. I think that could be a challenging game. But like same thing goes here in the Europa League. I think the left side, whoever makes it to the final from this left side, like it's probably going to be either United or Juventus, in my opinion. Will definitely have a higher probability of winning the Europa League rather than whoever comes out to the final from the right side. So same thing with the Champions League. I already mentioned that. So good, yeah, really good matchups. As I said, a bit of riggedness, and then yeah, we talked about the form of each team in the Champions League. Not really gonna talk about the form of each team in the Europa League. I mean, we kind of mentioned, yeah, Sevilla not really doing the best. They were 1 point in the relegation zone. United, of course, killing it in the second half of the season in 2023. Leverkusen, USG. As I said, I've never heard of USG, and somehow they're all the way here in the Europa League. Quarterfinals or quarterfinals, not semifinals. Yeah, it's quarterfinals. So yeah, it's not the semi. This is the semifinals. So yeah, in the Europa League quarterfinals, I have no clue who USG is, but somehow they've made it there. I think Leverkusen are a pretty solid team this season. I mean, what are they? I don't think they're in top 4 anymore. Not top 8 anymore. Where has Xabi Alonso, Xabi ball, guys, taking them to? So yeah, they're 9th. Still crazy how they came from like 17th all the way to 9th. Xabi ball, man. Xabi Alonso ball. I think Leverkusen are a solid team, so I think Leverkusen are stronger here. Roma, Jose Mourinho ball. However, Feyenoord are solid team. Don't sleep on the Dutch team. And then Juve Sporting. I mean the Portuguese passion, but Juve, man. I think they've been doing pretty solid this season. Let's just take a look one more time. Not one more time, but like before we end off the episode. Let's take a look at Juve's form recently. So yeah, beat that team. Yeah, it's been pretty solid. Definitely pretty solid. I think yeah before. I think it's pretty solid still. But yeah, they did lose to Roma. But yeah, that next 2 games. Pretty interesting. But yeah, that's gonna go on to end off the episode. Yeah, 40 minutes long. We talked about the Champions League. I think the next episode will maybe be on Monday. I think Monday is good. For the next episode, we'll talk about this weekend's games, and then I also want to kind of talk about national games happening this week because man, we have some pretty good national games. Like some I can mention here: Italy, England, of course. It's coming Rome or it's coming home. France versus Netherlands, that should be really solid. Iran are playing. However, Morocco, Brazil, that should be a really good game. Croatia, Wales, that's not bad either. England, Ukraine, France and Ireland, I think that's pretty solid. More games here. We have like Germany, Belgium, that's gonna be solid. Scotland, Spain, South Korea, Uruguay. Weren't they both in the same World Cup group as well? And then after that, we have some more games coming back. Ooh, Liverpool, Man City straight away after that. I think PSG also have a big game after international games. So yeah, PSG Lyon, that should be good. Newcastle United. So yeah, pretty big games after international games. And then yeah, Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid and Real Betis. That's also a pretty solid game. Napoli, AC Milan. Yeah, that's gonna be huge as well. So yeah, international games not the worst, and then some big games after. We have some big games, league games after international games as well. And then of course the UCL, which we talked about as well today. We'll definitely talk about it again. I might get Gareth on the podcast. See if he wants to kind of talk about it. See his thoughts on Real Madrid's fixtures and kind of the fixture, the road to the final for the Champions League. But yeah, that's gonna go off the end of the episode today. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell. Thank you so much for the support. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys on Monday or Tuesday. I'll see. But yeah, have a good one. Stay happy, stay flow, and I'll see you later. Peace.